Hey everyone, One Big Boss here, and as you can tell from the title of the video, we're going to be looking at my Resident Evil video game collection. And as you can see, you got the Operation Raccoon City poster. I got that from, where did I get that from? That was the GameStop one. It's good to have connections. And there's Street Fighter Cross Tekken, but we don't need to talk about that. Alright, as you know, we're here to talk of the game collection, and here it is. This is my entire Resident Evil library of games. And now that I look at it, I kind of think that this should be a larger collection, but it is what it is. So, let's see what we got down here first. Focus. Alright. As you can tell, we've got 3 copies of Resident Evil 2 for the N64. And I think this game may have been ported more times than any of the other ones. I'm not too sure on that, though. But yeah, don't ask me why I bought 3 of them. I had the chance to, and they were dirt cheap. Actually, sorry, I forgot. I had it years ago, and it was stolen, if I remember correctly. Another Resident Evil game of mine that was stolen. I'll get into more of that later. So, I bought this one, and then... Oh, no, sorry, no. I remember how it goes now. My buddy, he had said, yeah, no, we got this at the game store and everything. You want? I was like, yeah, sure. So I got it. And then online, I saw that they had one, like, for more. And I figured if I'd keep them and sell them at one point. I was so tired that night, I'd ordered one from Amazon and the other from eBay. So I was kind of surprised when I got that. And next up is this one, Resident Evil Gaiden. Ooh. Game Boy Color game. This game was actually really bad, but it was also kind of interesting and fun to play. And thank God it's not canon, but I would have rather have seen the Resident Evil 1 Game Boy Color that they were working on. Sadly, that didn't get finished. It was canceled, so this is the only Game Boy game in existence that's Resident Evil. It was at my buddy's store, and it was like $5? It was like $4 or $5, so of course I picked it up. I just didn't even think it was coming outside of Japan. Got lucky. We've got the 3DS Mercenaries game. Not that fun. If you have friends, I guess it's a little more fun. But this was the real winner for the 3DS for Resident Evil games. This game, Revelations, was amazing. I was so glad to get it, and I'm going to get it for the PS3 at one point so I can play with my friends online. Because it's really fun. If you wanted to play like old school Resident Evil games and stuff, like have that old feel, but you know, the co-op's there, this is definitely the game. Moving up to this one, as you can tell, it's Resident Evil Deadly Silence for the Nintendo DS. Now, this was the game that got me a DS. Like, I wouldn't have had a DS if it wasn't for this game, probably. I mean, maybe like when Pokemon Soul Silver came out and all that jazz, but everyone knows I love the original a lot, and to have something like this is just truly amazing. I mean, look at that cover art. That's badass. I wish my friends had gotten this game, though, because unfortunately, They never did, and there's like co-op missions or a battle mode that's in it where you play as the STARS characters. I would have loved to have seen what that was about. But regardless, still glad I got it. Next up we have here is the Biohazard 2 Value Plus for the Dreamcast. Now, I was shocked. I didn't even know they made this. I found this at the... Where did I find this? The flea market a couple of weeks ago. And it comes with the Code Veronica demo too, so... Of course I was going to get it. Oh, and it's got the Extreme Battle Mode game that, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it's right there. Yeah, so, I mean, of course I was going to pick it up. And we have Resident Evil Nemesis. This was a very fun game. This game, when it first came out, was amazing. I couldn't wait till this game came out. When it did, me and my buddies played the hell out of it. I mean, the PlayStation version first, but then we got this one a couple years later. As you can see, I have 2 versions of Code Veronica for the Dreamcast. It's the same game, I just got 2 different copies. But I actually have a 3rd one that's in the desk, and I don't know why I didn't take it out. Mainly because, like, that one, it doesn't have a case. I bought that, the one without the casing and everything. It's just the 2 CDs in a jewel case. I bought that at Hollywood Video before they went out of business. They were selling all their games and stuff, so I had to get it. And this one I bought, my buddy got for me, and then my friend in Florida, she got me that at a convention she went to, because it's Resident Evil, and obviously I've got 3 of these, so why not have 3 of these? Technically, I actually have 4. This is the Biohazard Code Veronica version, as you can plainly see, with Claire's badass logo on it. This was the Dreamcast Collector's Edition. I'll probably end up playing this one time, because my buddy just told me that the Dreamcast can play some Japanese games if it's an American one, which is good because I'm always up for that. And I have Power Stone for the Dreamcast in Japanese. So, yeah, definitely want to be playing that. Next up is the game that started it all, Resident Evil. Got the director's cut right here. Yeah, it's greatest hits. I used to have the original director's cut. I don't know what happened to it. Probably got stolen. Let somebody borrow it and totally forgot. Then we move on to here, number 2. This game was the game breaker for Resident Evil. This is like kind of like what brought Resident Evil in, because not a lot of people played the first one. And then the second one comes out, and it's the greatest thing ever. Everybody's like so psyched up about it. The advertising for it was great. You had George Romero doing the commercial for it in Japan. So that was pretty interesting. Sadly, I used to have the big thick version that they made, but unfortunately, that one I remember was stolen. And we go down to number 3, Nemesis, which this is my favorite one of the series. If anybody watches my channel, they would know this. It's still got the back art to it, you know. There's Jill. You know, it's in your blood, Nemesis. This actually comes with 2 discs, the Resident Evil 3 game itself and the Dino Crisis. I really wish I had the cover art for this game, though. I'll probably order that online one day, because I'll never find it, I know that. Resident Evil Survivor, this could have been a fun game because it was supposed to be a shooter. Well, it still is, you just can't use the gun, because during the Columbine shooting back in the late 90s, this game was coming to America, and the American companies didn't want to associate any kind of gun violence, so they thought, stupidly, hey, let's just take it out and the game will be okay. Yeah, no dice. No way. But it's still a fun game to play at times. It's just really short and really easy. The Japanese version and the European versions, though, if you want to pick those up, they can support the light gun function for this game. And over here now, we have 2 very favorites of mine, Resident Evil Outbreak and Outbreak File 2. These games were amazing because they were ahead of their time. Pretty much like the Dreamcast itself. You know, these games were something that I really wanted to play online with people, because playing by yourself was really hard. If anybody fucking remembers how painful it was to work with those stupid, god-awful AIs, dropping important items, wasting ammo, it was ridiculous. Regardless, though, it was fun, and when the PS3 rolled around, I thought we would get a chance to play it online, but they'd shut the servers down, so, you know, shame on them. They should bring it back, seriously. Like, remake the series. It could be their next HD project. Resident Evil Dead Aim, I wasn't sure how I felt about this. I rented this when Blockbuster was still around, and it was okay. I didn't mind it, honestly. And then I found it down at Newbury Comics. It was like $15, so I picked it up. It supports the light gun function, if I remember correctly. Still an interesting game. Bruce and Fong only come back for one other game, which was Namco X Capcom. They were in that game together. And we're moving on to the PS2 version of Code Veronica X. This was the updated version. More things were added to it. It was good. And of course, this is the 5th anniversary edition. Comes with the Devil May Cry demo. And we get to this thing right here, Resident Evil 4. Now, this was it was a fun game because of all the stuff they added to it. But with Shinji Mikami, this is what broke him. When this got ported, he was pissed because he made this game specifically for GameCube users, for everybody who bought a GameCube to play his other games that he made. I think that game was for them, and then they went out and ported it, which, I mean, I'm not really too upset about, but this, if I remember correctly, the PS2 version doesn't look that much better than the GameCube, if I remember right. We go down here to Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, Special Edition. I got this, like, 3 days before it was supposed to come out, because me and my 2 buddies, we ordered it from Capcom. It was a fun game. It was a good idea, but like Slant 6 just smoked a bunch of crack probably about 40% of the way through, and then just messed everything up. It was good at the beginning, and then got really bad towards the end, especially the ending, where it's pretty much like a Sopranos ending. And we go over here for the PS3 section. We've got Resident Evil 5 and 5 Gold Edition. These games were good. Now, a lot of people didn't like 5 because of how it ended and what they did. And, you know, the survival horror feel was kind of pretty much gone, because it was played mostly during the day. There was no real... I think I got scared maybe once. Resident Evil 4, I got scared a couple times. But these 2, I think I got scared like once. That was it. Regardless, though, after playing Resident Evil 6, you learn to appreciate how awesome Resident Evil 5 is. Speaking of which, here's Resident Evil 6, and we're moving on. Resident Evil 0, great game. Didn't do as well as Resident Evil for the GameCube, unfortunately, because this game was amazing. This game scared the crap out of me, just as much as the old PS1s did, and the Dreamcast versions. Scared the crap out of me, and then Zero came out. I was a little freaked out by it at times, but, you know, as everybody knows, Zero was originally supposed to be on the N64, and then it wasn't. They canceled it because the N64's life was coming to an end. But it got the remake because Shinji Mikami did a great job with this game, as everybody knew, and then he wanted to continue it, and he did that. And unfortunately, Zero didn't do as well as he or others expected, but it's still a good game. It's fun. And then that's where, you know, Resident Evil 4 came out from. Got Resident Evil 2 here. And not much changed in this one, but it's still fun to play on the GameCube. Got the Nemesis 1 for the GameCube. These were 3, 2, and Code Veronica were actually really tough to find towards the end. If you go online, they're like $30 almost. And we got Resident Evil 4. This was like the game changer, but we still had survival horror in it. We still felt afraid during it, you know. So I don't think it's like the best in this series, nor did it really redefine the horror, but I still think it did a good job regardless. And we've got my only Xbox Resident Evil game, Resident Evil 5. I got this from my friend Ashley because she wanted to play it, and so we played for a while, and it's fun. It's just the 360 controls are just blah. And then over here, we've got the Wii versions of Zero and Resident Evil, which were pretty fun. They were okay on the Cube, I mean on the Wii. And then the Wii version of Resident Evil 4 was actually pretty fun because of the controlling and what they did to it. Other than that, they added virtually nothing else to the game, so for the asking price of it new was kind of like a slap in the face when you didn't really give us anything else. These two games right here were amazing. I loved these two games because they were just so much fun. Umbrella Chronicles was good. I love that one, and then because it gives Wesker backstory and all that jazz. And then Resident Evil: The Dark Side Chronicles comes out. It came out like 2 days before I left for England back in 2009, I believe that's when it came out, or 2008. And I was #1 in the world on leaderboards. I went through everything, did everything. I was #1, and then I was in England. A couple days later, I checked my Facebook messages. My buddies knocked me off the leaderboards. But yeah, so that's my entire Resident Evil collection. Well, the video games anyway. I'll get to the figures at one point, but like I always say, if you'd like, please hit the like button for this or the thumbs up button, because I'd appreciate it. It's good for me, good for the channel. Please subscribe because it's free, and in this day and age, free's a damn good thing. And if you'd like to see more of these videos for other stuff I've got, I will probably end up doing them. Like I said, I'll do my Resident Evil figures at one point. So, yep, everybody, thanks for watching. This is One Big Boss, and as always, I will see you all next time.